Well, it is 9 o'clock, so let's go ahead and call to order the September 1st meeting of TTAC, and I will turn it over to James for roll call.
Good morning, everyone. I'll do a quick roll call to see which of our TTAC members are present. When I say your name, just let me know if you're here. Amy Hill.
Here.
Brent Warren.
Here.
Steve Moriarty. Ty Adley.
Here.
David Armstrong.
Here.
Ryan Klussman. Josh Corwin.
Here.
Chris Dressel. Ryan Fellows.
Here.
Rick Gall.
Here.
Bill Holder.
Here.
Chris Jamrose. Natasha Kaufman. Marcia McSherry. Sky Metters.
Here.
Jessica Miller. Tim O'Donnell. Jason Peters. Charlie McKenzie.
Here.
Kyle Silvius. Derek Spear. Justin Taylor.
Here.
And then I know a few folks had joined us after I did roll. So I think I saw Steve Moriarty join.
Here. Yes, sir. Sorry I'm late.
Hey, you're okay. You're just on time. And then I see Derek Spear is logged in. I might have missed him on unmuting. Derek. Yep, I see you. All right. So Derek is here. All right. We do have a quorum of members present, so we can go ahead and get started.
Hey, James. Tim O'Donnell's on too. Sorry, I missed
Hey,
the roll
Tim.
call.
Yep. No, I was going to say, I saw you earlier, and then I saw that you had to pop off, so glad that you're back.
All right. Well, thanks, James. Next on the agenda is the minutes from the August 4th meeting. Hopefully everybody had a chance to review those. And if there aren't any questions or changes, I would entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve, Ryan Fellows.
Tim O'Donnell, second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you. The minutes are approved, and we will go into the August administrative modifications.
For the August administrative modifications, they have been circulated with your packets, and they are posted online. If you do have any questions, the administrative modifications are just small corrections, changes, or updates that the Transportation Technical Advisory Committee and the Policy Board have given staff the authority to do in between meetings. There's no approval needed. It's largely informational, but you can find that either in your packets or online. Other than that, I have no additional report on this item.
Great. Thanks, James. Any old business? If not, we can move right into the new business.
We'll go straight to new business today.
Perfect.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Happy first day of September. We have 3 items today under Resolution 33-21. The first is item A. It's a locally initiated project. It's at Michigan Street from Walnut Street to Vintage Street. It is a bike and pedestrian facility, and we are adding in PE and construction. And then the remaining 2 items are NDOT initiated projects. We have item B. It is a high friction surface treatment throughout various locations in the Fort Wayne district. The work type is a safety revision, and we are adding in PE and construction. And then the final item is item C. It is a new or slotted left turn throughout various locations in the Fort Wayne district. The work type is an other intersection improvement, and we are adding in PE and construction. And so with that, I am happy to take any questions on these. And if there are none, I would ask for your endorsement of Resolution 33-21.
Do we have a motion to endorse Resolution 33-21?
Tim O'Donnell, so moved.
Brent Warren, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution 33-21 is endorsed.
Thank you.
Great. So I guess I'm next. So I'm going to give a brief presentation over a new dashboard that we're in the process of creating. We're looking for some of your input and feedback on bridge conditions. And so this goes kind of a beginning point for a larger effort to kind of push out and various performance measure information that we might have for the public, but also for you in particular, working for the cities to gain a little more access to. So, Ali, next slide. So again, this is kind of a draft form. We're looking for this feedback. So this is, you'll be able to access this from our website eventually here. To kind of give you some orientation here. Ali, you want to hit next? So in the center, of course, is a map showing all those locations. The far right, you'll see a legend kind of identifying what those are. And so the colors is the good, fair, and poor, which is the overall condition of those bridges. The circle and is the locally owned, and diamond is the state owned. So again, maybe I should go back. Sorry, I've kind of jumped ahead a little too quickly. So this is for bridge conditions based off of the federal National Bridge Inventory database. I realize I jumped ahead. Thanks, James, for letting me know. So again, this is from that national database. We're just consuming that information, kind of putting back out, but is highlighting bridge conditions throughout our region here. James, did that answer that enough? All right, thanks. Sorry about that for everyone. So again, here again, you see the map and kind of some general symbology. Next slide, Ellie. In the middle is kind of a general metric. So you kind of evaluate what our current conditions are. So we see on the top are all our good bridges. We're a total of 347, which is about 40% of our total bridges. You got 452 of fair and 72 in poor condition. So you get a good idea of what that looks like across the region. This does change, so I will highlight here as we kind of filter down into that. Next slide. So then here we have some general filters for you able to search and to kind of narrow down this inventory. So the first section where I did here is show the county, so you can filter by each county right there. And as you can see, that center section where it did change those totals. And so now we can see 113 bridges that are good, 110 that are fair, 19 that are poor in St. Joseph County. Next. And then if you want to filter it even further, we have locally owned or state owned as two ownership models here. And so if we click on local, we see now all local bridges. So that takes all the ones off of the state highways, off the toll road as well. There, so you can drill that down. Again, you can see that general filter or general metrics in the middle again changed to now 47 bridges with good, 44 in fair, and 17 in poor. And then next slide. And so then maybe, again, you want to drill down even further to this data and you want to look at only poor bridges. So you can click that next filter down, which indicates those different conditions. So again, you kind of filter down further and further into that. If you want to look at poor and fair, you can also do that there. Next slide. And then obviously the map is interactive, so you can zoom in on that map. So again, maybe you're looking for more into South Bend area, you're zooming in to that little section here. And so you can do that. Next slide. And then you can even then get down to selecting those bridges. And so again, maybe we'll look up here at Ironwood and Douglas. We can highlight and select those bridges. And you see at the very bottom is the last section. It has a table with a little more information about each of those bridges. Next slide. So kind of blew that up a little bit so you can see. So it'll have what county that's in, who the owner of that is, that MBI bridge number, which associates that with the database, the facility that is being carried by that bridge, the daily traffic levels, the lanes of that bridge, type of bridge, and inspection year. And then it gets in those details of that inspection, as you can see here. Yeah, and so next slide. Yeah, and so again, this is a draft version. Here, we'll also be able to add in, which I haven't yet included, is a download feature. So then you can now download more information about those bridges, kind of the complete data set about that bridge. I've included a sample of what's in there, but this is completely customizable, and things can change from that. And so what we're looking for from feedback from TTAC is, how would you like to use this? Is this useful? What sort of information would be better to display? Things like that. And so following today's meeting, we'll be sending out with everyone kind of a test version, again, for you to test out to get us that feedback there. But kind of like to first open up for discussion right now. Are there any input or feedback right now? And then James, I know you wanted to talk about the other items. So
Yeah. So just wanted to give everybody a little additional context here, and make sure that you have that context. So first, Federal Highway, US DOT, back when the FAST Act was passed, they moved towards implementing performance measures on a variety of different areas to have transportation planning focus more on transportation outcomes. Not that we weren't already doing that, but they wanted to tie it to specific performance measures. When they've done those performance measures, those have been really an interesting set of exercises that have helped really look at items for the state Department of Transportation, state DOTs. And while we as MPOs like MACOG have been involved in assisting the state with those performance measures, often what we end up doing with the performance measures is supporting the state targets, because the performance measures are so specific that they're almost very specific to the state and not necessarily to one region. And so we don't necessarily want to set our own federal performance measures, but we do want to start to have a better, more transparent visualization of our overall performance in transportation in the region. And so one of those performance measures that was originally there was on bridge condition. Now, the bridge condition performance measure was focused on only bridge conditions on the national highway system. So the national highway system in our region is largely all state facilities. And so it doesn't necessarily give you a holistic view or a transparent view of what the overall bridge conditions look like in a region. When you commute to work or when you're, making various transportation decisions, you're not just using the NHS. And so we want to be able to make sure that we can show information for the whole region. So this is bridge condition, good, fair, and poor based on the National Bridge Inventory for all 4 of our counties, so that you can visualize, regardless of ownership, whether it's the State Department of Transportation or State Department of Transportation through ITRCC up on the toll road or local bridges, you can see all those conditions for all of the bridges, over 800 some bridges in our region. And this is essentially a subset of information from the bridge inventory. So hopefully for counties who are maintaining their bridges, this is a quick, easy way to visualize and pull up information when you're thinking about applying for projects. And this will stay current because it will consume new MBI data when it comes out. But we want to get your thoughts, your feedback, your views on, does this tell enough of the story? What do you think? Are there better dashboard kind of item and elements for this category? And then also, we're interested in doing this for road condition or other categories? And do you think that there are other categories that could be helpful as well? So kind of setting that up, I'll now mute myself and see what your all's comments are kind of about this tool and future tools that we might want to look at.
So Ryan Fellows here. First of all, thank you for all the hard work. I know how difficult it is to pull everything together, and it's appreciated. I see on the FHWA website that they also use the good, fair, poor 1, 2, 3 rating system, but I'm also familiar with I don't know if it used to be the case or something changed. The National Bridge Inventory, I don't know if it used to have like a 0 through 9 metric. Do you know, are you familiar with that metric?
Yes, and actually at the very bottom of the screen, you'll see in that chart below where it says deck, superstructure, substructure.
So within each of the category, so a bridge is rated on a lot of different elements, but the elements specifically that comprise the 1, 2, 3, the good, fair, poor, are based off of item 58, which is deck, item 59, which is superstructure, item 60, which is substructure, and then item, I don't remember what the MBI condition is, but that's where more the 0 through 9 comes in, and then those scores are compiled to turn out the 1, 2, 3 category.
Yeah, it's to make it again a little more simple for people to understand that instead of that numbering system. So, but yeah, it's based off of that, and that's why we included that in the chart below.
So basically, if the condition of one of those elements is greater than or equal to 7, that element is considered good. If it is between 4 and 7, or well, 4 and 6, then it is considered fair. And if it's below 4, then it is considered poor. And so then when you take these 4 categories and put them all together, then that gets you a section that gets you to the overall condition, to the simplified 1, 2, 3 setup. So I don't know if that helps, but that is essentially how the federal performance measure is being done, is across these 4 categories. And so we're emulating that, but just across every single bridge in the region.
That was very helpful. Thank you. I guess where my question and thought process is, a 0 through 9 gives you much more of a tighter feel for what the conditions are. I mean, when they have like imminent failure for number 1, or critical condition for number 2, or serious condition number 3, and so on, it gives a real impact at a more granular level. And it just feels like it's a little oversimplified to go to the 1, 2, 3, but you know, I realize that's kind of the federal standard, and I don't know, is it possible to get into the, when I'm looking at this dashboard, to get into the weeds a little bit more? Is that information, it's in there still, right? That's still accessible?
Yeah, the elements that make up the overall condition are. So you'll see down at the bottom, and I don't know how well you can see it just because it's small, but when you look at the information that's available, it will tell you the facility, what type of traffic, you know, what the annual daily traffic is kind of on that facility, the number of lanes that facility supports, the structure type, the year it was constructed or last inspected, the overall condition, which is the simplified 1, 2, 3. But then for deck, superstructure, substructure, and overall condition, the MBI condition, you'll be able to see that more granular data points. So those are all still there. And then when you actually touch on one of the bridges, it will grab that information for you as well.
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Any other thoughts, comments? This is the open discussion portion of this, and I know it's a little difficult to do open discussion via virtual conference sometimes, but if you have thoughts on either this tool or other tools, if, for example, we have collected over the years doing road ratings with communities and communities providing us their road ratings. We essentially do have a data set that has road ratings across the entire region for every road. Is that something that you would want to see? Would you want to see that more boiled down into just more of a dashboard of, the kind of good, fair, poor, or where you would want to see an interactive where you could click on every road and see every road? Because after bridge, I think that's one of those next areas where pavement is something that we're really wanting to look at, where you could see that dashboard. So would love to hear your thoughts on either bridge or on the road rating concept, just kind of briefly outlined.
Hey, James.
Any other
Tim.
questions? Go ahead, Tim.
Sorry. As the airport guy, I don't have a lot of input on the bridge section, but I guess I just had a question because our runway conditions get posted on a public website through INDOT. So I guess my question, I just wanted to verify, I think you said this in the beginning, but this is going to be on the website and transparent and open to the public?
Yeah, and honestly, the MBI is right now, the National Bridge Inventory. It is posted online, but it's posted in data form where you have to download it and then try and interpret it and understand it. And for those of us who know it, it's accessible. But for those of us who don't know it, it's not always that accessible. So we would envision this being a very easily findable dashboard on the MACOG website. It's local. You're not going to have to sift through bridges in, Brown County and in, Jefferson. These are going to be your local county kind of areas where you'll be able to see it. So we would plan to host this kind of on our maps section or transportation section of our website.
Fair enough. Thanks. Sorry.
Yep.
I know that doesn't answer your road bridge question, but
You're good. And for those of you who have thoughts later, like Zach said, we'll be sending this out as a test kind of website so you can play around with it, give us your thoughts, as well as then get back to us on any thoughts related to any other dashboards. So I'm not sure if there's any other discussion.
This is Bill Holder, Kosciuszko County. I mean, I like what I see here. I don't know if Steve's still on the phone, what Steve Moriarty from Kosciuszko, what he thinks about it. But I mean, I think I like what I'm seeing, and it's kind of would be just interesting. But when I'm able to kind of consume it or be able to take a look at it, the bridge one right now, and maybe like you say in the future, maybe with road condition or pavement condition, I'd like to see that also. And I think it might be a useful tool for us and for the public. So,
absolutely. Thanks, Bill.
The only worry, I'll be honest with you, putting it out to the public is that once they look at this and they say, oh, my condition of my road is a 2, but yet you're paving a 5, why is that? Or, you're replacing this bridge, which you got federal funding for, but this bridge is a lesser condition. So I guess that's why on our Beacon site, we don't ever put out our bridge ratings. And that's why to get our bridge ratings, you have to go through the nibs and have a password and all that so that you can get into the specifics. So that would be my only concern with putting this out to the public.
Sure. All right. Well, if there are other thoughts, please let us know. We'll be kind of playing around with this. We'll send you out a test website as well so that you can play with it. And we'd really love to hear feedback on this. And so just wanted to be able to have a brief discussion today, hopefully continue the conversation with you all later. So with that, I think we'll kind of close out this element, and I'll turn it back over to you, Amy.
If I could first
Oh, yeah.
interject, I did have another question. Piggybacking on what Steve just said, would it be possible to add in, if this is going to be a public site and it is to be useful to the public, FAQ or links to more information that would help explain, oh, when I see poor, what does that mean? Or
Sure.
how do I get a bridge fixed? What kind of the things that you expect the public to ask, kind of hitting them off at the pass with links or footnotes or something like that.
That's a great point, Ryan. There's probably an element here where we could provide some additional like definitions or something like that. You'll see, it's hard to see right now, but on the presentation, just below the bridge rating dashboard over on the right-hand side, you'll see in text there, it says data obtained from Federal Highway, and then there's a link that takes you to that. So that you could dive deeper into the data or those things. But there's probably also in that same section where we should say something like, questions about definitions, and then have like a quick little fact sheet. That's a good point. All right. With that, we'll turn it back over to you, Amy.
All right, we will move into our staff updates, and we've got you up first, James.
Yeah, so want to be able to take some time to introduce you to a new staff member, Ashley Matthews. She is she started on, I think, August 11th as our new administrative assistant. So I believe Ashley is on the meeting, so I'll turn it over to her to just say hello.
Hi, everyone. I look forward to working with everyone, and I'm happy to be here.
Great. So like I said, Ashley just started August 11th, so she's wrapping up her first month here. So she'll be helping out from the administrative side of things. So you might be hearing from her, getting emails from her. So just be on the lookout, and we're super excited to have her on the team. So with that, that's all that I had for the this item. I think from here, we'll turn it over to kind of plans, programs, and grants, I believe.
Sounds good. And welcome, Ashley. Glad to have you on the MACOG team. Looks like we have Allison up next.
Okay, I just wanted to give everyone a quick reminder that our next quarterly tracking meeting is coming up October 6th. This will be held at 10 a.m. following next month's TTAC meeting. And you'll be receiving an email from Carla with some upcoming dates, and she'll also attach a copy of this form. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. We are really excited to bring back our in-person National Drive Electric Week events this year. We'll be actually hosting two because of the cancellation in 2020. One at Notre Dame, which we're very excited about that partnership. That'll be officially part of their ND Energy Week on September 25th. So if you're going to check out the Sunburst race, you can stop by towards the end of when the finish line closes to our event. That's 10 to 1. And then the next weekend, as during First Fridays in Goshen, we'll be at City Hall at their free public charger with another event. We'll have local drivers, hopefully some test drive vehicles there to get to check out different electric vehicles. So very excited to bring these events back.
Good morning. I wanted to provide you with an update related to our regional freight mobility plan. We were able to hold our first steering committee kickoff meeting on the beginning of August 9th, and we had a lot of good discussion. We were able to kind of go over kind of existing work that's been done, as well as some general freight issues that are happening nationally as well as regionally. We have a website created where and I provided that link in the chat where if you're interested in providing some opportunity, you can provide it in that website. There's a few questions as well as a map where you can kind of highlight different locations that potential freight issues are happening. And so from the kickoff meeting, we're really kind of gearing into stakeholder input over these next couple months to talk with you all as well as private sector folks about kind of some of the issues that they're dealing with along their freight network. So please feel free to visit the site. It's macogfreightplan.com and provide any input that you might have. And if you have any further questions, feel free to direct them to me.
Good morning, everyone. This is Donnie Ritzma. I wanted to share an update on the disaster recovery and economic resiliency plan. That we're entering the final phase of this plan development process. Last week, Fourth Economy and MACOG staff facilitated 6 prototyping sessions that sought to brainstorm themes that will shape the strategic actions for this plan that will help the MACOG region and organization respond and recover to the effects of the pandemic. Fourth Economy right now is compiling these conversational notes and will present in the form of a final draft to the steering committee at the upcoming meeting next Wednesday, September 8th. And then with that steering committee's review and approval, a final plan will be drafted and prepared for MACOG to be shared again in mid-October. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Brett Roberts or myself for more information.
Great. And our last staff update today, I'll be handling. So we have reported a few times about how MACOG, who oversees the interurban trolley, is partnering with Transpo on a regional comprehensive operational analysis. That's a lot of words to say essentially that we're doing a deep dive study into understanding how both of those systems work and where there are opportunities to enhance public transit. We have completed the consultant selection phase of that project. We have engaged Jarrett Walker and Associates, who will be the prime kind of contractor working on that study with us. We had the kickoff meeting just the other week, and we'll be getting started on that. It'll be, about a 12 to 18 month process to get that plan and kind of study completed, or I should say analysis. And so there'll be various opportunities for the public as well as all of you to engage, to talk through how we might be able to enhance the public transit systems that are in our region today and what other unique and interesting kind of innovative solutions we might be able to provide. So please be involved in that process. Please help us promote that process so that the public can be involved in it. Operational analyses do not come up all that often. They're not like an every 2 years kind of thing. They're often in every 10 years. I believe the last one that Transpo did was in 2011. And so these are usually very large studies that have a great opportunity to improve the systems, but they don't come up all that frequently. So please stay engaged in that process and be involved. That's my request to you today. So with that, that's kind of all of our staff updates that we have for today.
Thanks, James. Do we have any privilege of the floor from committee members?
Ryan Fellows, I want to, if I may, I would like to just recognize the great work that I see being done by MACOG staff and thank everyone for that great work. And it's appreciated. And I know it makes our community stronger and better. And I always love being on these meetings because I get to see that work right at hand. And it's appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Any other comments? If not, do we have any public comment for today's meeting?
Throughout the last few months/year, we've asked the public if they would like to provide comment to email ahead of time, as well as they can comment live via YouTube. We did not receive any comments ahead of time, so I'll check in with Zach to see if there are any YouTube live comments.
There are no comments on YouTube today.
So there are no public comments today.
All right, thank you. That is the bulk of our agenda. So we just have, if we could have a motion to adjourn the meeting, that would be great.
Tim
Ryan
O'Donnell,
Fellows,
so moved.
motion to adjourn.
Tim O'Donnell, second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
All right, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.